Welcome to another exciting class on this channel. On today's class, we'll be looking at a small portable generator. Before the gen officially went off, it made a poof sound, a very heavy sound, and all efforts to put the gen back on proves abortive. You can see even after the switch is on and the gen is shook, fuel tap is on, the gen still is not coming on. So on today's class, we will be looking at the generator critically, bisecting and dissecting what exactly could be the issue. All right, we've been able to fix a generator that has starting issues. Hi guys, welcome to another exciting class on this channel, Benco Institute, your small engine repairs channel. On today's class, we'll be looking at a small portable generator, TG950 generator, popularly known as I better pass my neighbor in this part of the world. Okay, our client, the owner of the generator, told us that the generator was initially in use. It was on, it was working. In fact, it has worked for over 2 hours, and he decided to put it off. After putting off the switch, before the gen officially went off, finally went off, it made a poof sound, a very heavy sound, and all efforts to put the gen back on proves abortive. So on today's class, we will be looking at the generator critically, bisecting and dissecting what exactly could be the issue. What exactly is the fault of the gen? Why is the gen not coming on after the heavy sound? You can see even after the switch is on and the gen is shook, fuel tap is on, the gen still is not coming on. So be looking critically at the gen. Could the fault be coming from the plug? Is the plug bad? Could the fault be coming from the starting core? Or is it that fuel does not pass through the fuel tap and go straight to the carburetor? Or is the carburetor bad on its own? We'll be looking at everything we think could be wrong with the generator and eventually fixing it. All right, without further ado, let's dive into the class. Okay, before we continue, you would notice the plug is visible. Okay, normally there's supposed to be a plug cap here, but for some reason there's no plug cap. That does not stop the gen from working anyway. Since the starting core is connected to the plug, it should work effectively. So what do we do next? Okay, to really check the generator, we'll be losing the tank so that we have ample space to work. All right, we've taken off the tank now, and what we'll be doing next is to check if the tank has fuel. Of course, shaking the tank, you'll notice there is fuel, and now we'll be checking if the fuel valve or fuel tap is able to give out fuel. Good. The fuel tap gives out fuel to the carburetor. Now, another key thing we should look at in a generator when it's not starting, one key thing, in fact, is among the basic requirements anyway. If your generator is not starting, the first thing to do is to check your plug. And we'll be doing that now. We'll check the plug to see if the plug is dirty. Okay, this is a fairly new plug. It has not been used for long. Okay, this plug has not been used for long. It's fairly new. Although we cannot categorically say because the plug is new, it still works fine. So what do we do next? We test if the plug gives out spark. You get. You know how the generator works. The generator works when the plug gives out spark to the combustion chamber, which eventually aids combustion. So we check if the generator gives out, if the plug itself gives out spark. So while doing this, you make sure the electrode of the plug is connected to a metal part of the generator, so that when you try kickstarting, it brings out spark. Okay, this plug looks very much alright. I don't know if you guys saw that spark. Well, because the lighting here is much, I will have to put off the light so that we can see it very well. Alright, that shows the plug is very much okay. So there's basically no need to test the starting coil again, because if the starting coil is not good, of course it will not give spark to the plug. But just for emphasis, just to explain how the starting coil works, I'm just going to do that. We kickstart again to see if the starting coil on its own brings out spark. Okay, there was a noticeable spark there. So what happens is the starting coil connects to the plug, and eventually the plug brings out spark, which eventually causes combustion in the combustion chamber. So that said, we've noticed that the plug is okay. Another key thing we look at while trying to fix generators without they are not starting is we stylishly look at the carburetor. But if you are a non-technician, I do not advise you tamper with the carburetor at all. I do not advise you tamper with the carburetor at all. Okay, let me fix back the plug first. Alright, we'll fix back the plug. If you are a non-technician, I do not advise you touch the carburetor at all. But just for the benefit of that, I will do something here. We notice the carburetor, the fuel tap rather, gives out fuel to the carburetor. But does the carburetor really collect the fuel? And that will be noticed when we lose the screw down. There's a screw here. There's a screw here. If you notice a screw, there's this screw here. We lose it a little to see if fuel comes from the carburetor. I will notice fuel came out from the carburetor just now, which is this. Okay, so we've tested what now? We've done three things. We've checked the fuel tap, we've checked the plug and the starting coil, and now we've checked the carburetor. One more thing that can cause a generator not to start could be as a result of leakage. Probably where there's leakage in the generator, which may come from the top cylinder, the generator cannot come on. Okay, for that reason, I will be losing this panel, I would say, just to explain better. Okay. Originally, if there is a leakage, you would have seen it from the edges here. The edges here would have been soaked with fuel or oil, whatever it is, there will be liquid around here. But if you notice very well, these edges are so dry. What does that tell you? That simply tells you the top cylinder is perfectly in good condition, and of course there is no leakage here. We're going to fix it back since we've done diagnosing that point now. Top cylinder is in good shape. What else could the issue be? One last thing we'll do now is to check the oil seal. This fault is not common with generators, but it still do happens when the OSC is bad or the OSC leaks, the generator loses compression. Okay, and guess what? There are two OSC in this type of generator. I think for petrol generator there are just two OSC, right? Yeah, for petrol generators there are just two OSC, and for this one it's no different. There are two OSC. One of them is here. If you look deep, you will discover that there's an OSC inside. But if the OSC is bad, it shoots out. It leaves position and shoots out. At that point, you notice the OSC is bad and there's need to change it. But for this particular place, the OSC is fairly okay, still perfectly in position. And of course, there is no need to change it. One last place we check for the OSC is that the one behind the flywheel. The one behind the starter and behind the flywheel. All right, we've taken off the starter and we have the flywheel. Okay, what we'll be doing next is taking off the flywheel, which will give us access to this oil seal. Voila, this is it. Of course, this is where the issue has been coming from the whole time. If you notice carefully after losing now, come in, let me pick it out. You will discover that the OSC came out. Okay, the OSC came out, is no longer in position, and because of this, the gen cannot start. You can pull the gen from now till next year, it will definitely not start. All right, we actually didn't know the OSC would be at fault for this. The OSC would be the reason rather for the gen not starting. But since we've located the fault now, we'll just go get a brand new OSC. And I believe after fixing the OSC, the generator should come back to life.
A few minutes later.
This is the OSC we just got, and this OSC we got for 250 naira. That is $0.4, 40 cents. 40 cents, yeah, that's the equivalent in dollar. All right, we'll be fixing. Okay, for some persons who saw this, let me quickly explain this. Let me quickly explain this OSC, because I'm very sure not everybody will be aware. I decided to get a complete pack. This, remember I said we have two major OSCs in the generator. This for the flywheel and this for the engine OSC itself that connects the alternator and the engine. It's found at the middle of the engine, the middle of the generator. And we have this other smaller OSC. This is found at the governor, on top of the governor. Let me quickly do this. This OSC is placed under this governor. All right, I know that's not what we set out to do today, but I just need to explain that. Okay, let's fix the OSC, the new OSC we got. All right, to get a better space for it, I will take off this. All right, so I can have a good space for it. All right, we'll successfully tapped it back to position. Okay, if you notice carefully, you will notice I've been using one particular tool set to fix the generator, and this is it. I'm using the 3-way spanner. Why do I prefer 3-way spanner? Because it basically has the sizes we need to loose generators. Just look at this now. We have a 12 mm size here. We have the 8 mm size here, and we have the 10 mm size. And for a small generator like this, it uses just these 3 sizes of bolts and nuts. Okay, if you want to see more of the tools we use in fixing our generators, you can check the link above the screen. We did a video on it. Okay, if you notice carefully, I'm just trying to be sure all the bolts are in place, including the one we didn't lose. All right, some people will be wondering, why didn't we fix back this oil seal that came out? Okay, the purpose of an oil seal is to stop the generator from bringing out air, or air and basically oil. If your generator works with your oil seal out, not in perfect position, it leaks air and it leaks oil, and that's what we don't want. Although some people will want to manage this old oil seal and try putting super glue just to glue it together, but I wouldn't advise. In the end run, you are just damaging your generator the more. So the best thing to do, considering the price, quite cheap, is to change the oil seal. All right, I haven't changed the oil seal. What do we do next? We fix the flywheel. If you lose the flywheel, okay, there's a reason I'm explaining this so deep. I do not want a situation where you have access to a generator, you do this and it doesn't come out well. If you lose the flywheel, you will notice there is a key inside the flywheel. This is the key. It's called a key. And what does it do? It keys to this other part of the generator called the crankshaft. This is the crankshaft. Okay. Now I want to fix the flywheel back. I'll make sure it's in position with the crankshaft. The key of the flywheel is in position with the crankshaft. Good. When you do that, you've fixed it well, and of course your generator is going to come on. All right. After fixing it, try to rotate it clockwise or anti-clockwise, as the case may be. If your flywheel is able to rotate your crankshaft, then you successfully fixed it well. That said, we'll couple. I used a 14 flat to, well, this is a combination spanner, but you can use a flat as well to tighten it back. Just get it tight a little. Okay. Right. Up next, we fix the starter. All right, we put the tank so the gen can get fuel and we kickstart. Let's leave it for some few seconds so the generator can get enough fuel. All right. Wow. Okay, if you notice very well, the generator came on, right? But why did it go off? It went off because there was not enough fuel. We'll leave the fuel to get into the carburetor, then we kick start again. So what does that tell you? We successfully fixed a generator that has refused to start. And how did we fix it? We diagnosed from start to finish. We diagnosed from start to finish. We checked the plug. We discovered the plug was still in perfect condition. Of course, it gave us spark, which is a key criteria to know if a generator spark plug is okay. We checked the starting coil. We checked the fuel tap, and of course, we checked the carburetor. And what else did we do? We checked the oil seal, and that was where we noticed one of the oil seal, especially the key one at the flywheel, was bad. And after fixing that, the generator came on. All right, it's over 30 seconds now, and I believe a lot of fuel has gone into the generator. Let's kick start. All right, we've been able to fix a generator that has starting issues. All right, if you love the video we just did, of course I believe you should like it. We put a lot of effort and time into it, and of course we came out with good results. Please do well to subscribe. Do well to share this link with friends and family. Do well to like this video, very, very important. And drop in the comment section the issues you would want us to trash out in our next videos. Till we meet in our next class, it's goodbye from our end.